Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Battle of the Minds Week. It's the very special week where we celebrate and enjoy two games that are very dear to a lot of players in the world, and those are the games of chess and poker. If you've been following so far, we've had 2 evenings of fantastic entertainment where on Monday, Alexander Grischuk and Peter Svidler, of course, two of the best chess players in the world, also duked it out playing poker. They're both very, very expert level players in poker. Sasha was playing very big, and Peter has played all kinds of poker, mixed games and everything else. They had a fantastic battle, which Peter ended up winning. And I played yesterday Simon, which was really good fun. And today we've got another combination, this time two players who I have to say I've met them just before the broadcast started, but I've never met them in person. But it seems like it's going to be a very fun lineup anyway, a very fun matchup, I should say. Today we've got Fide Master Mehdi Ouakhir. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, against Grandmaster Yago Santiago from Brazil. Mehdi is from Morocco. He's a Fide Master. And Yago is a Grandmaster, became a GM at the age of 25, and is the 10th best player in Brazil. So firstly, I'd like to welcome Mehdi and Yago. Mehdi, Yago, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you so much for participating in this. It's great to have people from all over the world, of course. You are from very different places. Perhaps we can start with Mehdi, just very quickly. Can you tell us a little bit? Obviously, you're a FIDE master in chess, but what is your association with poker? Because I don't personally know.
Well, no, I'm a FIDE master 2,200 euros. And well, I'm not playing much of chess for a long time. I play poker mainly. And I've done some results. I've made a final table of EPT once.
Wow, okay.
In 2008 in Warsaw, and I won the warm-up in 2009 on PokerStars. So some results sometimes.
Fantastic.
Sometimes we get lucky.
Well, more than lucky. If you're making deep runs like that, then clearly you're, more than lucky. And that's no limit hold'em, is it? In those
Yeah. But I play some cash game on PLO. I prefer PLO 5.
PLO 5.
Yeah, if I play cash.
Like me, yeah, we would discuss. Yeah. And what about you, Yago? So you're a GM, obviously a very strong chess player, very young. What about the poker side? How are you involved with the poker?
I'm a poker lover too. I have a lot of friends, professional poker players, and they talk with me about the hands, about the bad beats, and I like it very much, the game and the action.
Yeah, it's Brazil. I mean, I still I don't play that many tournaments. I play on Sundays on Stars and the Sunday Million and other tournaments on Stars. But the number of Brazilian players playing poker is just unbelievable, and it always seems like that the final table is 3 Brazilians, 4 Brazilians.
It's true.
I mean, they're insanely good at poker. It might even be like the best country for poker. I mean, it just in terms of results on a consistent basis from Brazilians. So I'm really interested to see how you do. And just a little reminder of the format, how it's all working. It's exactly the same as what happened with me and Simon yesterday. So they're going to first play a chess game, 3 minutes plus 1. Then they're going to play a hyper turbo no limit hold'em heads up. Then they will play 5 minutes plus 2 seconds. Then they'll play a turbo heads up. And then they will, I believe, play the simultaneous 10 plus 10 in the chess with the poker. So that's the simultaneous playing the poker and the chess. And so far, both Peter Svidler, Sasha, and myself, we all said, wow, we really enjoyed playing the heads up poker and the chess at the same time. Trying to multitask, dedicate the time was actually both fun but very hard, and it was a big challenge. So I'm very curious how you'll both do with that. The points are, for the first section, it's 1 point, then it's 2 points, and then it's 3 points, like that. So I will do the tallying at the end to make sure everybody knows. But basically, look, we're here for fun. We're here to celebrate both games. Again, we can see, more chess players who love the game, who are very expert level and beyond that, professional poker players. And yeah, it should be great fun. Remember, you can comment in the chat. I'll keep that open. But I'm going to leave this call now, guys, and I'm going to go to the next one. And we're going to get going very shortly. So you'll be told when to start. Okay. Good luck. Play well.
Okay. Thank you.
And remember, it's better to be lucky than play good. All right? So get it in bad and win is just fine. All right? I'll see you on the other side. See you later. Bye-bye. All right, everybody, and welcome back once again. So the players are now ready. In the first game, it's going to be Mehdi with the white pieces. This is the 3 minutes plus 1 second blitz game. You can see there Yago and Mehdi ready to rock and roll. And as soon as they kick off, I will be commentating on it. Mehdi and FM, Yago a GM. So on paper, Yago, big favorite when it comes to the chess, but Mehdi probably, like a lot of Moroccan players, they are very skilled blitz players. So I'm very like keen to see how Mehdi competes with Yago in the chess sense. So these guys, they can just start. It's Mehdi to play. He needs to play the first move, but we'll see it in a while. And then, of course, what we'll have is the poker element, the hyper turbo, a bit like we saw yesterday. Difference, of course, myself and Simon, we were bantering live. These guys won't. They'll just play, and I'll just call the action, and hopefully I'll do a decent job. I am keeping an eye on the YouTube chat as well. Lots of Brazilians in the YouTube chat I can see. Vamos Yago. Lots of Vamos Yagos here, so a lot of support for Yago. And we've got Henry Chaucer, Pour Mehdi, allez, allez. So we've got some Mehdi supporters as well, which is great. And yeah, we're just waiting for the first move. If one of these guys can be, if we can tell them to play the first move, that would be great. Maybe they don't know. So we'll try and tell them. In the meantime, of course, remember what we can talk about is this is, of course, in cooperation, as you can see, with Party Poker. If you want to play poker, as somebody who does pretty much every day myself, you want to make sure that you're playing well within your means, within your bankroll. Poker is a fun game, but after all, you are playing for money, and you want to make sure that if you lose money, which, of course, the majority of people do, you want to make sure that you're comfortable with the amount you're losing. So if you do sign up for that, then make sure, as I say, that you're playing within your means. And we do have a first move, and it looks as though we've got that. Mehdi has played a move, and now we're waiting for Yago to respond. So let's see here. Yago needs to be told. Can he see the board? Is he getting to the correct link? Let's see here. And yes, Party Poker in affiliation. Great site, great company. Highly recommended to play there if you do want to play poker. And of course, with Chess24, you want to make sure that you make a premium membership for yourself, because lots of lovely benefits of being a premium member. Tons of training material, opportunities to play top players, being informed, etc., etc., etc. So it's really important if you want to improve your chess, that you do make the effort, become a premium member, get access to literally thousands of hours of videos from some of the top players in the world. That's not an exaggeration. And of course, remember to check out all the sister companies from the Play Magnus group. A lot of you will know Chessable, which has produced its own library of fantastic work, I must say. Check out CoChess, which is if you're looking for a private coach, you can do that. And it looks as though bear with me 1 second here. Okay, I'm just trying to get this working, but for some reason it's not. That's very strange. Okay, let me just bear with me here for 1 second, guys. Sorry, it looks as though I have just got to find a way to get these games here. Just bear with me just for 1 second. Apologies for that. Oh, that's good. I'll make sure that's over here. Okay, we're back. Apparently, Yago was having a few technical difficulties, so let's see if he's now able to play. Mehdi looking a little frustrated. We want to get this all started. Let's see if he can click on the link and play here. Some connection issues, it seems, from Yago. Do not fear, guys. We will get this running. A few teething problems. So he's still not able to play. So in the meantime, I guess I'll talk a bit more about the schedule for the remainder of the week, which is, this is Wednesday, but we've got events all the way until Saturday, which is fantastic. So we got a whole week of this concept of Battle of the Minds. And tomorrow, just bringing it up for you. Tomorrow, we've got Clément Richet against Hilares, which I'm also going to be commentating on. And they are two professional players, actually. I don't know them personally. They both left France because France has got very tight poker laws for playing online. So Clément lives in Budapest and Hilares lives in Malta, Malta being a big hub for professional players. And yes, they they are poker players first and foremost, but they love chess as well. And they take streamed lessons on Chess24, the French channel. If you haven't checked out the French channel for Chess24, my suggestion is go and check that out, because they do a great job over on the French channel. My good friend, the one and only, the Chat Noir himself, he's going to kill me for saying that. No, my boy, Laurent Fressinet, the head of Chess24, .fr. He does a phenomenal job there for the candidates. I managed to actually tune in as well for a bit, which was fun. And Laurent and Jules Moussat does a phenomenal job as well for that channel. And if you speak French, because they do chat in French and they analyze in French, if you do speak French, then I suggest you go and check it out. So that's on Thursday. Then on Friday, a match that I'm really looking forward to seeing, which is a match between two people I do know quite well, in fact. First and foremost, it's Florencia Fernandez, the superstar woman IM from Argentina, two-time champion of Argentina. She does a lot of work for Chess24, regularly doing banter blitzes, commentating, along with Ayelen Martinez, who Ayelen is also helping with the production today. Well, Florencia, who I can tell you is a very, very, very... Oh, and we do have liftoff in the chess, so I'm going to go straight there. We have got liftoff. She's playing my good buddy, and I say that quite literally. Somebody who I consider my best friend, somebody I've known for many years, international master and world-class blitz player, Ali Mortazavi, who now is dedicating his life to solving some of the world's biggest problems. He's also a fantastic chess player. We play blitz regularly. He gives me a good beating regularly. So it's going to be great to see him get absolutely spanked by Florencia as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, looks as though we are Absolutely good to go. So, and we've got the position on the board. Let's get straight to it. First blitz game. The clash is obviously Mehdi against Yago. We have a very typical Queen's Gambit declined position. We might get, depending on how Mehdi plays, some Carlsbad structure. Is he going to go for some kind of minority attack with b4 and b5? Who knows? But it's up to him. So bishop f6, bishop f6. Well, bishop f6, it's up to Yago. Giving up this bishop in these structures is completely standard as well. The light squared bishop is much more important. Knight takes f6. Now a move like a3, rook b1, knight e5, bishop f5. These are all moves. And the move rook b1 is in fact played by Mehdi, which is a perfectly fine move. So good move there by Mehdi. And over to Yago, who's having a think, it seems. Rook a1, bishop d6, b4, a6 played, which is also fantastic. And yeah, typical kind of expansion here on the queen side, b4, a4, as I was mentioning, trying to get in b5. And Yago decides to develop the bishop to g4, which is not that common, but he's basically saying, look, I might think about taking on f3 and disturbing your kingside pawn structure. So it's going to be interesting to see what Mehdi does here. Is he going to play a move like knight d2? Then black can claim, well, maybe a lot of the white pieces are away from the defense of the white king. Yago up on time, and then that is in fact what happened. So it went knight d2, rook c8, bishop f5. And yeah, I think Mehdi plays a very sound continuation. He gets rid of one pair of bishops. So now the black initiative probably isn't that strong, or at least less strong. So bishop takes f5. Slight lag here I can see, which is a little unfortunate because queen takes f5 should have been played. And yeah, slightly unusual here why that hasn't come up. Looks like there was a little bit of a lag here in getting the moves, which is obviously not ideal to say the least. So I don't know what's happening there. Slightly odd. I can still see Mehdi's time going down. Hopefully there hasn't been a disconnect here. That would be an explanation. Says no new moves, which of course is very strange because queen takes f5 is the only move. Okay, so hopefully we'll get that organized. Looks as though Mehdi's leaning back and not really concentrating, so there's probably been a disconnect. It looks as though Yago might have some connection issues today, which is going to be slightly problematic. So I don't really know what's going on there. I'm trying to get an update from our team. The game itself at this level, at this stage is, oh, and now we get a huge update. Okay, so it looks as though there was a disconnect. Yago did disconnect, and we get this position here. Suddenly ba4, rook b7, queen f6 is on the board. And the position has exploded here. But it's exploded, I think, in favor of Mehdi, who, playing white here. Why can't white just play knight e4 and win a piece? He does. I mean, you're attacking the queen and the bishop. Looks completely over for Yago here. Maybe the disconnect kind of threw him off, but this is just... he wants to go bishop takes h2, check, and queen h4. What? He plays this move instead. I mean, that's also actually does save the piece. I thought there he could go bishop takes h2 and queen h4, but he decides to go queen e6. But white has to be doing extremely well here if white just takes the queen, takes the bishop, and after rook takes, then plays a move like rook a1, or maybe gets some luft first with a move like g4, these double pawns here are very easily attackable. So I'm very surprised by Yago's play here, and only white can be better. So takes, and now a move like h4 or he does go rook a1. Now I think, okay, rook c4, and now you want to create some luft. g3 is really the standard move here. Just get some luft for your king. Rook b2 is also fine, but now rook dc6 perhaps. I think if you get, yeah, exactly. Now he has to go king or g4 now. Okay. And let's see, this is still good for white. This is still excellent for white. Yago in big trouble here, down to his bare seconds as well. And is he going to survive, or did he time out? Nope, he managed to stay. So g4, h5, takes, trying to make something happen, weaken that white structure. Again, g4 maybe wasn't necessary there, maybe g3, because now, for example, a move like f5 will be played by Yago. And yeah, exactly. And now you have to go rook g2. And now he's managing to exchange a bunch of pawns, which increases his chances to try and draw this position. So after f takes g4, I'm starting to think that Yago might hold. He can't win this position, but this is still good for white after rook takes g4. You bring the king over to the center, and you've got two passed pawns. So Mehdi probably is doing very well. And again, not quite sure why the moves aren't updating quickly, but we have here that Yago won. So I have no idea what happened. I didn't get the moves through, so that's very unusual. So I have no idea what happened there, unfortunately. But apparently Yago did win. Maybe he won on time. Maybe he swindled him. I'm not quite sure. But Mehdi basically had a winning position, and he looks very upset. So again, I don't quite know what happened with the moves. So it's very difficult for me to comment. But it looks as though Yago did win the first match. Okay, so I guess we're moving on to the poker now. Looks as though the team might be talking with the players, because obviously something was wrong there, some connection issue. So we're just going to bear with us for a few minutes while that gets sorted out, because I'm really unsure what's been going on. Bear with me, chaps and chapettes. So looks as though Mehdi is talking, but not focusing. And I'm just waiting to hear from the team to work out what's going on. Because I believe one of these players needs to share their screen so we can view the poker. So just waiting for that. Of course, in the meantime, I'll continue with the schedule for this week. So as I was saying, on Friday, it's Ali against Florencia Fernandez. And then on Saturday, we've got a very interesting match indeed between Nick Pert and Richard Pert. Names, two guys you may have heard of, especially Nick. Nick's a Grandmaster. Richard's an international master. Of course, the special thing being that they are twins. Both very strong players. Both guys I know very, very well. Grew up with them in the UK. Nick won the World Under-18 Championships about 20 years ago, maybe slightly longer ago. And Richard is a very strong international master, actually lives in my county of Essex, and is, you know, it's going to be fun, him playing his brother. And that will be fun. So very, very strong players. I don't know exactly how good they are at poker. Obviously, they're very strong chess players. I've never seen them play poker. I would guess that Richard has got an advantage. Richard is a stockbroker by day, trades markets. Nick is also very decent with finance and so on. I think he's a trained actuary, if I remember correctly. But I've never seen them play poker, so I don't know how that's going to go. Okay, just getting set up now for the poker, I believe. Hopefully the next chess game, guys, by the way, will be sorted out. It seems as though, as I say, there were some lag issues there. Apologies for that, but it is what it is. And we're just finding out why that chess was so laggy. So yeah, it's going to be Richard against Nick on Saturday. That's going to be fun. And we're just waiting now for Mehdi to make sure he's logged in properly to Party Poker. And we'll get rocking with the poker. Slight delay today, guys. Apologies for that. Obviously, it takes a bit of logistics to get this all sorted out, but sometimes these things happen. Okay. Seems as though Mehdi is just getting the poker stuff sorted out. Let's answer some questions. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll go to the Chess24 Twitch chat. So anybody who's in Twitch, why don't you fire some questions and I will 24 answer. Twitch chat. Let's see if we can get some questions in the Twitch chat. It can be about poker, it can be about chess, it can be about whatever you like. So whoever's in Twitch, please fire away with some questions. That would be great. And I will be happy to answer them. Toupé says, I think Mehdi won the match. Yes, he did. Oh, you think Mehdi won? It says Yago won here, but maybe Mehdi did win, because it looked very weird that it says Yago won. So we'll get confirmation. So we'll get that. Get some more questions in chat. This is your chance. Ask me anything. Ask me anything in the Twitch chat. I'll also load up the YouTube chat on my phone. Just give me a second here. I'll get that done. Lots of French in the chat here, I can see. But if you do have a chat either in YouTube or in a Twitch, then you can just message me. There was a server issue, right? So they're gonna have to replay the game. Okay. Simão Mendes 85 says how this tournament works. They play 3 games of chess and 3 games of poker, basically. Okay, so they're going to play the poker now. The first poker game, which is a heads-up, no-limit Hold'em, Texas Hold'em game, which is obviously the most famous form of poker. And I will be commentating on that. And we can see here the poker is already up and running. So I'm going to do my best to commentate on it from here. And I need to see the cards. So here we go. All right. So it looks as though this is the poker now. And, we've got a raise on the river here by Mehdi, who made a straight, which is obviously, a very strong hand. And he gets the fold from Yago. So Mehdi is Mehdi 561, and Yago is BOTM. Mehdi here with the King Jack is a very strong hand heads up. He should be 3-betting this a lot. So we should see a raise, and he does raise it to 142. And we get a fold from Yago. So Mehdi already with a 300 chip advantage, basically. 2 kings now for Mehdi. The Butchers of Baghdad. And no action, which he'll be upset about. Gets another decent starting hand here. Just calls this time with Queen 7 suited. Can probably throw in some 3-bets as well. Checks on this board. Of course, now we get a bet, and Mehdi decides to fold. Okay, so Mehdi with a big advantage here. Raising with the 5-3 suited now, Mehdi. King 7-7, very dry board. Backdoor hearts. Is Mehdi supposed to bet this flop? Probably is with this backdoor equity, and he's probably going to bet small because, of course, Yago can continue quite wide there, quite thin, but in the end it was Mehdi who took it down. Again, a suited hand. He's had like 1,000 suited hands so far, and he decides to pop this one after a limp by Yago. So Yago limped, and Mehdi 3x flops top pair. Definite opportunity to c-bet on the Queen 9-5-2 clubs. So we get a bet, and he takes it down. So Mehdi in control so far in the poker. Perhaps Yago's had no hands. Mehdi now deciding to limp the 10-4 of, the 10-4 offsuit. Not a particularly strong hand, of course, because well, it's 10-4. We get a check. And now Mehdi's going to try and steal this pot by betting. And it looks as though Yago not really putting up much resistance so far. So just from the initial start here, it feels as though Mehdi has probably got the upper hand in the poker, unless Yago just has had absolutely nothing to work with. And Yago does finally take a pot down, which is good. Mehdi with the 8 deuce decides to lay down his hand. Now Mehdi getting a few trash hands, 5-3 offsuit. He's going to probably call here, probably should. Flops a gut shot straight draw, 4 would make him a straight. So he's got a backdoor flush draw as well. I think if they were really deeper, if they had more chips, that would actually be a flop he could try and check raise. But in the end, he decides to just call, see if he can peel a 4. He doesn't. An ace peels off here. And now Yago did take it down. So Yago winning an important pot. Okay, raising with the 10-5 suited, very standard, flops a pair. Decides to check back bottom pair here, which is very interesting. Probably correct as well. 6 here. Maybe now he can start trying to get a little bit of value out of his pair. And he gets called. And now is he going to go for value? No, he's not. And he did get value from the 9-3 of diamonds, which picked up a flush draw on the turn. 10 deuce off. Mehdi is not going to defend, which is completely standard. Raising the 2 deuce 3 suited now. And Yago thinking, so he's probably good. Just by that timing tell, yeah, it felt as though he's actually got a real hand. Oh, and it looks as though Mehdi's going to call, and he does flop a deuce, and he's put himself in a very awkward situation now because, of course, Yago, when he makes that big 3-bet, is saying he's got a big hand. And this board, ace, queen, deuce, definitely favors the 3-better. So Yago should be quarter bet of c-betting here, which I love. He's going to peel. And now the 5 of clubs is a very interesting card. Now, is Mehdi thinking that he has more potential flush draws than Yago, and that he's going to get Yago to lay down a very strong ace if he applies a lot of pressure? He also, of course, picks up a gut shot straight draw. He has the 3-4 blocker. So I wonder if Mehdi is going to actually attempt something here. And he is going to attempt something. He decides to go for it. Now, Yago, of course, if he's got any strong, and he does get to win the pot. Well played there by Mehdi, I feel like. Just that little bet on the end. He can also make a lot of hands that c-bet that flop that are very strong, 2 kings, 2 jacks, whatever. Some suited hands that can 3-bet like that. He can get them to fold as well. Takes down the pot here as well. The jack 6 suited. And Mehdi in real control here. And we should get an all-in on a call, and they both have ace 10. Pretty standard. They're going to chop the pot. So that's a chop. That is pretty standard because remember that Yago only has got 800 chips, which is he's got about 13 big blinds at the moment. Now Mehdi puts in the 3-bet, and he should be stacking off here. This is an effective flip, and that's a great flop for Yago. Terrible turn, needs an ace, doesn't get it, and Mehdi binks the queen, and they finish that game. So well done to Mehdi. He controlled that hyper turbo heads up. We didn't see Yago's cards. It's very difficult to say. The key hand there for me was the hand between when it was the ace king deuce board that Mehdi stole with the turns bet. So that was very, very good indeed. Now I'm going to get confirmation if we're going to get chess or poker. Because theoretically we should get the 5+1 chess game. So we'll see. Okay, there's a new game link for the chess. And they're playing the 3+1. I beg your pardon. So, of course, we're abandoning the first 3+1. There was actually server issues with chess 24. It wasn't even the players. So we're going to just go straight to the chess, and hopefully we're going to have no issues now with the chess. I've got one d4 on the board. Can we get some moves? Can we get this finally going? Hopefully we do. Let's see. So they're replaying the first game, guys, just to make that clear. They are replaying the first game. Hopefully still not some server issues, because that will be very unfortunate. We've got one d4 on the board. We're waiting for Yago. Is it Yago or is it the server? Let's see. Waiting for the move here. Let's see if what you're saying in Twitch in the meantime. And we do get some moves. Off we go with the chess. Okay, d4, knight f6. Okay, love it. Bishop g5, bit of Trompovsky action. My favorite opening, e6, knight d2. Very well-known line, h6, bishop h4. Let's see if Yago, he does go c5 here. Now there's a very interesting move in e4. I wonder if Mehdi will play it. No, he plays more conservatively with c3. c3, knight c6. We're going to get e3. Very standard kind of Torre attack structure now. So d5. And now white actually will play f4. Very good, Mehdi. I love this. Playing f4 here. So he's using the fact that he hasn't developed the knight yet to be able to play this move. And I actually really love it. Queen b6. Now he'll probably just go rook b1 to defend this pawn. That's the standard reply here. After queen b6. You can go queen b3, but now that you've gone f4, you want to keep the queens on. Is he thinking about bishop takes f6? Is that what he's having to think about here? Decides to go rook b1, which I really like. And now I expect probably c takes d4 at some point, but bishop d7, okay, curious. Okay, knight f3 is, or bishop d3 immediately is also completely fine. Rook c8. So he's really trying to line up some cd4 and stuff, but I don't really believe it. I think here you can take on f6 and then go knight f3, or you can go knight f3 immediately. Is he worried about some knight g4? Queen f3. That is ambitious. Bishop e7. Now he wants to put the knight on e2. I kind of like it, though. I got to say, I don't mind it at all. By Mehdi, knight e2. This is a very interesting setup. Getting the queen out, and now he's ready to castle, and black is very cramped, and there's no real way for black to do something here on the queen side. So this is really excellent stuff, actually, by Mehdi. I'm very impressed by this setup, actually. Very, very impressed. Okay, so knight e2. What is Yago going to do now? Decides to take on d4. Now Mehdi has to take with the e pawn here. He does. Knight a5. And now I guess he's just going to castle. That's the standard move. And perhaps look for a very quick f5. That's what I'm looking at here as white. So knight a5, castles, and then try and get f5 in. Bishop e5. Now I just play f5 a tempo. You want to go f5, and then you can go knight f4. You can take on e6. Then the g6 square is weak. You got to go f5 here. Yeah, well done, Mehdi. Excellent game so far. Loving this. Now, can black go e5? He can't, but he can take e5. Wait, there's a little wrinkle here. Has he got e5 here? This is a big move if he has it. Maybe he actually had to take on b5 and then go f5. Maybe this was a small mistake. A small inaccuracy or a big inaccuracy, because if you can play e5 here as black because of the pin, then suddenly you avoid opening all of these lines. So I wonder if Yago is going to play e5 here, or what's he going to do? Very curious to see this one. And he does play e5. So now perhaps Mehdi missed that. I mean, it's very missable. He still has, of course, a perfectly fine position. The question is how to proceed, because now e4 is coming. It feels as though this move does help solve black's problems, a lot of black's problems, at least. I would probably still opt for something like king h1 here. I don't really think bishop f2 is the move. So I think I would go for king h1. And then if e4, you can certainly think about queen g3 or queen h3. Yeah, I would probably just go king h1 here. I mean, you don't have that many useful moves. You want to force black's hand in the center. So Mehdi, under a minute now, he's thinking what to do. I think king h1's the most natural. Queen e3, so he's breaking the pin like this, but not really. Well, he's threatening queen takes e5, and castles is basically a very natural sacrifice, because queen takes e5, then some knight c6 or rook e8 looks like it could be trouble, actually. Looks like it could be trouble. So he does play queen takes e5, and now bishop d6. Now queen e3. Now the rook's coming to. Or bishop takes h2 check exists here, or some knight g4. I don't know which one. Queen e3. This whole queen takes e5 thing. I got a feeling it didn't feel right to me. Have to say, felt like felt like it didn't really work. So Yago now thinking, do I play bishop takes h2? Do I go knight g4? Or do I play rook e8? That's also a move. I guess after rook e8, queen f3. So he does decide to take on h2, king h1. And now the question is, he does go back to b8. Now I expect a move like queen h3 looks very natural to me. Knight f4 is possible. Queen f3, queen d3. Bishop g3 I don't like. Now I think this rook is coming with tempo. Oh, and there's some rook takes e2 in the area. If queen f2, you can go rook takes e2. Queen takes e2 and bishop takes g3, picking up the two. Oh, pinning. No. Oh, no. Rook takes e5. No. Mehdi has just fallen for a simple pin here. The queen was unprotected. Bishop e5 was just too... this move here, bishop e5, yeah. He was already in trouble, and Yago did win. He had to play a move like queen f3, but I think here the move rook takes e2 was very strong. The point is, after queen takes e2, bishop takes g3, you win the two pieces, and you've got a big advantage with the two pieces here. So win for Yago. Tough luck for Mehdi. Tough luck. But this is the life we chose. Hard game is chess. So Yago wins the chess. Mehdi wins the poker. It's one apiece. And we now go on to the next format, which is, it's the same. It's a turbo, but the chess is going to be a slightly longer time control. Now I'm just going to find out whether they're going to play the chess first. Nope, we are going to the poker now. Okay, great. So, okay, off we go with the heads up poker. So we're seeing it again from Mehdi's perspective. And Yago playing at the top. Mehdi flops an open-ended straight draw, but on a three spade board. Very difficult boards to play, aka monotone boards. How best to play them? Now I expect Mehdi will fold because he's not even sure his straight will be good. Okay, the queen deuce suited, definite raise on the button. So he raises it to 40, and he gets 3-bet here. And I guess we're going to get a call for sure. He flops a deuce. So this is very interesting now. So we get a half pot bet. Mehdi is absolutely going to call. He turns a flush draw. This could be the one here, guys. I mean, if Yago bets fast or hard here, I can actually see Mehdi going all in as a semi bluff, and I can see Mehdi betting this anyway because he's got tons of equity. Even if Yago does have an overpair. Or something, and he doesn't. So he could have been 3-betting, of course, with all the big non-overpairs, ace-king suited, ace-queen, ace-jack suited, ace-10, jack-10 suited, all kinds of stuff. We get a 3-bet here by Mehdi. He flops top pair, ace-jack. He's going to bet third pot, which is absolutely standard, maybe even a bit smaller is more standard. King on the turn. I don't think this will slow Mehdi down. He actually increases equity because a queen now gives him Broadway. So he bets about 70% pot, 75% pot. That's a standard sizing. This is a very, very, wow. I mean, I was going to say it's a very dynamic board. The 9 of diamonds that comes off here, he decides to check. And now the question is Yago going to go for a bet here? Basically, if Yago bets, he's representing a hand much stronger than ace-jack. The question is, does ace-jack beat any all-ins here? Does it beat any bluffs? Very tough spot here for Mehdi. He blocks queen-jack. He blocks 0 flush draws. You know, Yago's played this hand really well because he's getting Mehdi to call with top pair, but he is at the top of his range here. There are some semi-bluffs, and he's got 60 seconds to think. So I expect Mehdi to really go in the tank here and think. So what semi-bluffs does he beat? And he does call, but, you know, Yago actually had the king-6, which is very interesting because he called the 3-bet with the king-6 off, called the flop bet, and turned 2 pair and decided that he was just going to call down once he turned 2 pair, which I think is probably unorthodox, to be honest. The king-6 off, I don't think you should be calling 3 bets with. So yeah, now Mehdi is super short stacked. He's got just 300 chips. And he's stuck here because this is the worst turn ever. And he's just going to give up, I think. And Mehdi's going to be left with, I don't know how many big blinds it's going to be, but we'll see, 20-40. So he's got something like 6 big blinds. He has to go all in here. Suited ace, it's a no-brainer all in. And Yago folds. So Mehdi now with 260 chips, blinds at 20-40. Again, really tough spot because you can limp here endlessly as well as Yago. You can limp to trap or you can limp to just play some pots. And you can bully Mehdi because you can just bet a flop like this and then you can just bet again. And as Mehdi, well, Mehdi's got 6 high here. So is he going to try and bluff this spot? He is. That's very interesting. And he gets called by an ace, which is obviously a correct call. And now he's got just no chips at all. He's going to go all in. Gets called by ace-jack. And that's going to be that pretty much. And wow, I mean, the big hand there was the king-6 hand. So Mehdi decided to make, you know, this river call here, and it's a very tough spot. I guess it probably is theoretically the correct spot, but the correct call, because you're still very high in your range there with ace-jack, but it's really tricky and you can expect to lose a lot of the time there. But he was getting a great price as well. Maybe he was getting, I don't know, 2-1 or something like that. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next chess game. And I will bring that up for you guys in just a second. So now it's going to be 5+2. So Yago now pulling out in the lead, which is, of course, nice for the Brazilian fans. And it looks as though, you know, he's a typical Brazilian chess player as well, because, poker player. Brazilian poker players, incredibly tricky players. They are, so, you know, they are always on final tables of tournaments. They seem to have a knack. I mean, it's a poker mad country. Even their superstar soccer player, for example, Neymar, is, you know, and wow, look at what we have here. My goodness, we've got none other than the Romford Gambit. I mean, Mehdi played the Grob, and we have this move C4, and the pure Romford Gambit is to go D4, but Yago decides to take. Bishop takes B7, knight D7, sacrificing an exchange, and now F3. What an unbelievable game. I mean, this position here after D4, bishop takes B7, knight D7, bishop takes A8, queen takes A8. I've actually studied. Why not? It's called the Romford Gambit. And the point is now, compared to the game after f3, you can play the move d3, which is the main idea, to disrupt this diagonal. I actually had a bunch of games in this line with none other than Zurab Asmaiparashvili on a certain chess server that won't be named. We used to play bullets on these games in this position. So Yago now in the tank after f3, but what a delight to see this this opening. They're having fun. It's a wild opening. My gut feeling is that d takes c4 helps white more because you don't have this disruptive d3 move at the end, which is very annoying to deal with. But okay, Mehdi's still an exchange up, and it's up to Yago to prove that he's got enough. So what is he going to do? Remember, here in this position, f takes g4 isn't actually a threat because you lose the rook. So Yago might just say, I'm going to go knight f6. But if you allow white to get his pieces out, he is just going to be an exchange up. So very, very interesting to see this indeed. And Yago now deep in the tank, thinking about what he wants to do. Very, very, very interesting moment. And we do have a bunch of moves. And look at this. So f3, it went e5, queen a4, bishop came back to e6, knight a3 now by Mehdi, queen back to d8, h4, stopping queen h4 check, bishop e7, took anyway, bishop takes h4, king d1. And this is the position we have on the board. And I mean, I have to say, I think Yago is in big trouble. The king on d1 is perfectly safe. And knight takes e5 is a winning threat. And I really don't see any way for Yago to hold this position, because you're threatening this bishop with queen takes h4 indirectly. Even some knight d6 check, queen takes h4 would give white, a promising position. He's stabilized with his pawns. So it went bishop f6, d3. Okay, knight e7, knight h3 is fine. And once again, it looks as though Mehdi has got really a fantastic position here. Knight to f5 by Yago. Okay. Now what is the question? Still not easy for because Yago's going to, Yago actually, in fairness, has done really well the past few moves, because he's going to get castled next. b3. This one is the first move that I really dislike from Mehdi. What's his idea against e4? I'm curious. e4 looks like a serious idea here, with the attack against the rook and then disrupting this structure. I'd be kind of surprised if Yago didn't play that, actually. And it looks like I might have accidentally sized the board or something. Hopefully that doesn't wipe out a file. We'll soon see if I need to resize that. Apologies, guys. I clicked on something and I might have accidentally incorrectly moved the board. So I'll see if that comes up on the broadcast. Apparently not. So we have some moves. So it went b3 castle. So he didn't do it. Bishop a3 attacking the rook. Rook e8 and now rook c1. Yeah, I have actually cut this file off. So I'll just make that a little bit smaller. Hopefully that's done the job so that the entire H file isn't cut off. So rook c1 now on the board. And super wild and wacky position. Objectively, I think white is probably still doing quite well because, he is an exchange up. Nevertheless, it seems as though you know, there's still some chances. So it went knight g3, rook h2, and now e4. Look at this move here by Yago. I guess the point is, after f takes e4, is his idea to play knight takes e4 here? With the idea that if d takes e4, you have knight c5, discovered check, winning the queen. Wow, that's a tricky little move. Tricky Brazilian move, that is. So I fully expect to see knight takes e4 on the board. Very tricky. And then after, of course, knight takes e4, ideas like knight c3 check exist in the position. So very, very tricky stuff by Yago, keeping his practical chances alive, doing a very good job with that. King on d1 now feeling a lot less safe. So fe4, knight e4 has not been played. We'll see, because again, there's a bit of a lag. Unfortunately, it looks as though we're having some serious server issues tonight, which is obviously a serious shame. But we'll see if we can get that working, certainly moving forward. And it looks like they're playing, but we have no moves. Okay, we'll see what moves we get. But, I mean, you go e4 to go fe4, knight e4. And, as I say, I fully expect that... yeah, I'm just trying to work that out. But apparently, yeah, just some server issues tonight, guys. Does happen. And we got a bunch of moves. Okay, so it went knight f4, bishop g4, king c2, knight c3. Okay, hitting the queen. Queen takes a7. Now he took on e2. Knight takes e2. Bishop takes e2. Mehdi's king now wide open. Rook gh1 looks a little bit loose. Bishop takes d3 check. Have a bit of that. The point being, after king takes d3, there's now a double check. Knight c5, king c2. Now the queen comes in, king c1. But is there mate here? That is the question. Is there actually mate? Does Yago have mate here? And the answer is not clear to me. Queen c3 check, perhaps, because you have to go either rook c2 or king b1. King b1 running into rook d8 looks... Even this is not clear. Rook d2. Oof, I don't know. If king b1, can you now go queen a1 check, king c2, and queen takes a2 check? Probably can, because queen takes b3 then exists, and that's probably... Or knight, yeah, if king c1 now, you've got ideas like knight takes b3, and that's probably winning. So queen c3 check has been played, and now this is where I think actually Yago is going to win, because if rook c2, you can go queen a1 check, king d2, and here you can take the rook, but maybe you can even start with bishop g5. Oh, that check there is nasty. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, have to go here, then you can take and you can win. And in fact, we got the line with, oh, he blocked with bishop b2, but he blundered the queen. I mean, here, at the very least, Yago can take on a7, but queen takes b3 might just be mate. So we'll see. Actually, queen takes b3, king b1 might be a mistake. So I fully expect just queen takes a7 here. And that's easily enough for the win, just to take the queen off the board. Does queen takes b3 mate? That's just very interesting if it does. Queen b3, king b1, queen d3, king a1. It's not mate. So yeah, you should just take the queen, and there's no attack here for white. After queen takes queen, rook takes h7. It's just one mate threat, and you can play king f8, and if rook h8, king e7, rook e1, you've always got knight e6, which is helpful. Bishop a3 check, king d7. Wait, it's not over. Rook d1. It is over now. Knight d4. So you're not getting in trouble there. So yeah. Guess Yago's just going to take the queen off. I don't know if he did. As I say, there's clear lag issues tonight. And we do have that exact variation, do we? It seems we do. The one that I just put on the board. Bishop a3. King d7, rook d1, knight d4 check. And yeah, and they went a bit further. Looks like we got this position, but yeah, this position is just toast. Very similar to what we just looked at. Fully expect Mehdi just to resign here. I mean, you've got a rook for a queen, and you're a lot of material down, and the position is just hopeless. So Yago is going to win the next blitz game, which puts him in a great position because he won the poker and he won the blitz game. Means he's really up now on Mehdi, and Mehdi, in fact, will need to win both the poker and the chess in order to win the next round, which is going to be simultaneously poker and chess, remember. So that's going to be very fun to see. Can Mehdi pull it out? He's a big favorite in the poker, I guess, although that last heads-up match was very interesting. I think Yago did very well. And yeah, we'll see how Mehdi does in the chess. We've got a few Go Yagos in the chat. Ange says Go Yago, ouch, GG. Yeah, a few things going on there. And yeah, now we're going to see the poker and the chess, remember, at the same time. So remember that, guys. We're going to have poker and chess at the same time. Very fun to play. I played it with Simon yesterday, and it was very cool. And very difficult for Simon. I'm a bit more used to it, to be honest, which is, you know, because I play a lot of poker and chess. So this is the chess with Yago playing white, and the poker I am going to load up here as well. Okay. I'll try to get the poker up. Meanwhile, we've got a Jabava system, something I've played a lot in the chess. The chess position is an opening that's very dear to me. And we have a very quiet game, 10 minutes plus 10 seconds. So the game we expect to go on. And in the poker, I can see here that we have... we're going to try and sort that out. Here we go. Okay, Mehdi kicking things off, raising with the Jack-8 in the poker. The chess, I will tell you about if anything super interesting happens, which it's not at the moment. And we'll... oh, I see. Mehdi's actually flicking between the chess and the poker at the same time. So, unfortunately... that's a bit annoying because he's moving the poker, and there's no real way to solve that, it seems, which is slightly annoying. Mehdi does turn 3 jacks. We'll do our very best here. We'll see what we can do, but it's you know, so he check raises a flop, and now he's betting the turn, which is of course what you should do. He bets the third pot on this turn, of course, with a very strong hand, 3 jacks. And he gets the fold. In the chess, a fairly standard kind of setup, what Yago is doing. I've had many positions like this. F3, G4, and Queen D2, keeping flexible. Perhaps he's going to castle on the queen side, keeping his options open. So the chess, fairly standard. In the poker, Queen 7 here. And yeah, Bishop takes F4 in the chess. Knight takes F4. Okay. Fairly standard stuff. Basically, for in the chess, I like these positions as white because you can go h4, g5 at the right moment and cause some problems. And that's what's going to happen. Castle's queenside, and then he's going to go h4, g5, I think. And yeah, we'll see the poker in a moment. Yeah, and unfortunately, just because Mehdi's not quite got the setup today, we're flicking between the chess and the poker, so it's a bit tricky. He does take down the pot, though, betting a pair of eights. So chips about level, 3-8 offsuit, probably is a fold. He's not going to defend that one, which is fairly standard. Jack 8 here is going to be open from Mehdi for sure. And e5 now by Mehdi in the chess, which I think is a very decent move, actually. Breaking in the center before white can play h4 and g5. So e5 really does make a lot of sense. So I move from Mehdi very much. Now what do you do as white? Because if you take knight takes e5, even this guy on f3 is a little weak. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I think Mehdi's actually just doing very well in the chess. So back to the poker, and well, we have even chip stacks, so no big moments yet, it seems, in the poker, which obviously makes a lot of sense. Graham Lamburn says, I thought the poker was to be PLO in the simul. Yeah, they're not playing PLO, they're just playing Hold'em, specifically for Peter Svidler and Alexander Grishchuk, who love playing Omaha. So here, Mehdi bet, and he got raised, and he's going to let it go. So Mehdi trying a steal, but Yago really being aggressive. Ace-Jack here, I guess, is very much a 3-bet in the Hold'em heads up. Should be making this around, well, he's making it 199, so around 3-point-something X, which is absolutely standard. Bishop takes d3 in the chess. Chess still very, very balanced, so we'll keep an eye on it. And we get a call from Yago, and we see now a very tough board again where you bet on a monotone board and you can get a lot of folds. So you really want to bet these monotone boards, with the 3 diamonds, for example, because it's very difficult to continue there unless you have a lot of equity. So very well done there by Mehdi, betting with no diamond in his hand, but just trying to play position and playing aggressive poker. Very good. Okay, back in the poker, Mehdi again, stabbing a flop here, and he gets raised. Now, is he going to float this one in the poker? I have a feeling like this is one of those hands he might just float. If a 6 or a 9 peels, he turns a straight draw. If a diamond peels, he might be able to, double float some diamonds, but he decides to give it up. So also completely fine to fold there. 10-9 offsuit in the poker. He is going to call a raise, whiffs this flop, and this probably has to fold to a bet. Cannot continue with this hand. Or you can raise. So Mehdi is starting to take a bit of a stand here, finally, saying, Yago, you've been too funny in the poker. You can't have hit this many boards, so I'm going to start making a stand. Now, the question is how far is Mehdi prepared to go? Is he going to triple barrel this bluff in the poker? And he's got kind of the hand to do it because he doesn't block clubs. He has, he has a great hand to just go for it. And he does get it through. Well done to Mehdi there. Yeah, excellent stuff by Mehdi to win that hand. In the chess, also, Mehdi looks like he's got a really good position here. Queen a5. I really love what he's done. Black ready to castle, maybe even on the long side, just to avoid any pawn to g5 stuff. So castling long here makes a lot of sense. And this configuration with the knight on c4 in the chess is it's very, very nice for black, because this is always an issue that white has to worry about. White at the moment has got just about everything covered. This knight on d3, very importantly, covering b2. But I would actually take black here, unless white has got some kind of e4 move destabilizing black's position immediately. If black is allowed to castle here, I think he's going to have a great position. In the poker, Mehdi with a slight chip advantage. The board is 10-8-8, and let it go. So they're about even in chips. So no big moments there. And they're playing a very slow structure now in the poker, so they don't have to go too crazy. And a bet, and he's betting a pair. Gets called. I guess this will go check, check. Betting here again, though, does make some sense, because you're trying to fold out some flop floats, or even some fours, or some bad eights. Yeah, and you can get a fold by double barreling. So yeah, I think taking the aggressive line there definitely makes sense. And in the chess, we've had a bunch of moves. So it went queen a5, and here Yago did in fact play g5. Try and open things up, takes, and Mehdi took on h2, which is very surprising. What is he going to do against queen takes g7? That's exactly the question I have. Rook takes h2. This looks a little bit wrong, actually. I feel as though Mehdi has lost the plot in the chess, because now this knight is very loose. How do you deal with this? Because knight d7, can you just about do this? Queen g8 check and knight f8 and try and hold on. Maybe. I don't really see anything else here. You can't go knight h7, because now I go queen h8 check and I've pinned the knight. So knight f8, I can just go queen 6 h2. So I wonder what Mehdi is going to do here. He has taken a bit of a chip lead in the poker. I missed that hand as I was analyzing the chess. He's got a 2-1 chip lead now in the poker. So we could see some fireworks there very soon. Aces in the poker. And he's setting the trap for the all-in. I love it. And Yago doesn't fall for it. He was setting the trap, hoping for the all-in. Yago now leads out. I wonder if he's going to call, and I wonder if he's going to raise this turn on the king, or whether he's just going to check. So now, of course, Mehdi has to bet for value here. He has aces. He has a very, as they say, underrepped hand. His hand strength is underrepresented, because you don't normally limp aces. So very, very tricky by Mehdi here. And what has happened in the chess? We've had the move knight a3. What is this? Wow, what a move. But just rook d2, takes, and now he comes back in king c1. But this is an incredible move. What is this move by Mehdi? Knight a3. The point is that you can't take, because this is some very unusual mate. And if you take here, you have the move queen takes c3. This is an unbelievable resource by Mehdi to see this. Look at this move, knight a3. And then he gets in a position where after knight c4 check king c1, all of a sudden things look okay for black, because now I can go knight d7. And if you give the check, I go here, and then I castle, and I get my king safe, and I'm probably okay. Maybe I'll even go queen c7 first. I don't know. Very interesting game. In the poker, I can see here that Mehdi has got 2-3, which obviously, I don't know. Hello. Oh God, I don't know what happened. Okay. Yeah. No idea what's going on. Okay, I think we're back. Okay, I'll just continue talking. All right, I have no idea what's going on. In the chess, we do have Queen G8 check on the board. In the poker, Mehdi with a big chip advantage, huge chip advantage. Connection issues all over the place tonight, guys. Really apologize for that. 376 bet, and he has to fold. So or is he going to fold? Can he call with the ace king high here? He's thinking about a call, but probably is just a little bit too loose. In the chess, Mehdi on the back foot now. Queen G8 check. After knight F8, though, what is he going to play? Is he going to play E4? We'll soon find out. Kings, though, and this could be it in the poker. Jack 8, he's got a gut shot. Spade draw, loads of outs. He hits. Unbelievable. The Jack 8 gets there, and suddenly Yago back in it. What an unbelievable beat that was for the two kings. Two kings against Jack 8. Huge favorite pre. Turned the flush draw and the straight draw and got there with one to come. And a wry smile there from Mehdi, who still has got a chip lead, but he was in a commanding position. And yes, well, suddenly he has to work again for his advantage. So Queen J check on the board now. Is Mehdi thinking about King E7? Is he thinking about Knight F8? Lots of time on the board. And wow, we just got another big pot there going Yago's way. And all of a sudden, Mehdi, who had the big chip lead, is on the back foot. And he gets big slick, completely whiffs the flop. A bit of frustration here from Mehdi. Of course, Mehdi had to win both of these games, both the chess and the poker, if he's going to win tonight. And he decides to c-bet this flop, but it looks as though he might get in trouble here on the flop here after 125. And he gets raised, and he must be hating that, Mehdi. Absolutely hating it. Now it's Yago with the 2-1 chip advantage in the poker. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And again, monotone board, Mehdi going for a small bet. Feeler bet just gets clicked back. He must be getting extremely frustrated here in the poker. And in the chess, we've not got any moves after this check, which is slightly strange. And I'm debating whether to just put in that link again. Let's see if we can do that. Apparently not. Oh dear. That's gone down as well. I will let's try this. And Having some issues here clearly tonight, guys, is not going to be our night, is it? From the technical point of view. Just going to actually close this down very quickly. Apologies for all of that. I'll just quickly do this again because it looks as though there was some kind of issue with the board getting the moves. The poker is still going on, and Mehdi's still with the chip deficit. I'm just going to share my screen again now. And we've got the chess back, and we do have some moves. So it went Queen G8 check, Knight F8, E4 was indeed played, D4, Knight to E2, and now Mehdi brings the Queen back out to A5, just A3, and back over to Mehdi. So, Mehdi's position, he survived the worst, it seems. And certainly, is in this game, in the chess. Remember, he needs to win both. In the poker, Mehdi having some issues. Queen D2 check on the board by Mehdi, but after King B1, it looks very nasty, but I don't see a follow-up here, basically. Unless Knight E3 or something is very, very strong. But then Knight takes D4, and he's okay. Why can't White just play Knight takes? He wants to go Knight takes D4 and castles. This Mehdi is extremely. Wait, can Black castle? Did Black move his king already? I didn't think he did. So we'll see if he can, because I can't make the move. There was some check, King C1. I can't see Black moving his king, unless I've got something wrong there. So we will see. In the chess what happens. Knight takes D4 apparently is on the board here. In the poker, Mehdi has got a nothing. He's got 7 high on the 8 deuce ace 5 ace. So I don't know what he turned basically an open-ended straight draw. Now he's probably just going to give it up unless he's going to think about bluffing, which of course he may very well do. And no, he doesn't. He decides to fold. Gets now the ugly 9 deuce offsuit, which, he's now short stacked. He's got just over 10 big blinds. So he's in push fold mode, actually. Now Mehdi, he just needs to find a hand to get it in with. Yago in huge control. Castles queenside now played by Mehdi finally. So he could play castles long. That's what I thought. And here I think Mehdi is probably going to lose a fair amount of chips. He has to call. He can even... Yeah, this is a terrible card, though, for Mehdi, this Jack of Clubs. Brick gives Yago a lot more equity. Checks back, though, and a queen on the river. And Mehdi's just hoping for a very cheap showdown now. Mehdi just wants to... and he got beaten by a 6. So, yeah, that was tough luck by Mehdi. Mehdi with 10 big blinds, just open raises with 10 big, flops top and bottom. Middle and bottom. Absolutely no way you get away with this. As Mehdi, he's going to be happy to get his chips in. He's probably going to bet small to start off with, and then pretty much on every single turn card, he's going to go broke basically, or rather put his money in. Queen G1 now by Yago. So he moved his queen directly back to G1, hitting the knight. And this looks like a very good move. Looks like a consolidation move. Unless Knight takes C2 works. Hello. Does it? Probably doesn't, right? Because here, for example, at the very least, White can... So there are all kinds of moves here. Rook D1 might just win immediately. This move just might win. I know it looks a bit funny, but it might win. Also, just Knight takes C2 followed by Queen takes A7 looks very strong. Even, let's say, Rook takes D3, you can just take on A7. The Knight... controlling here. So Knight takes C2, a good try by Mehdi, but that's going to be easily sniffed out by Yago. Mehdi now built his stack up in the poker just a little bit, got the Jack 8, flops second pair, which is easily good enough to continue. and he will be continuing here in the poker. So call. He's going to check. He's probably going to call one more street. And Yago does actually find the move rook d1, which I think is probably going to end proceedings in the chess, actually. Unless queen e3? Wait, does queen e3 exist? Wow. No, queen e3... queen e3 might exist here in the chess. Goodness me. What an absolutely weird position. Because king takes c2, queen takes g1, and rook takes d4. And if I take, it's actually black who could suddenly be winning. So queen g4 check, king b8. Then I can take... he wants to go queen g4 check. I beg your pardon. Queen g4 check, king b8, and knight takes c2. That just wins. And here, yes, Mehdi does bluff catch. So Mehdi with a good call there in the poker, and they're back to even. But I fear for his position in the chess. I think it's just losing after rook d1, unfortunately for Mehdi. But back in the poker, bluff catched that river. Just said, you know, I'll flop the jack. It might have even been a limped pot. If you've got an ace, so be it. I'll pay you off. But yeah, in the chess, things looking desperately bad for Mehdi. And of course, if he loses the chess, then the poker is kind of no consequence, and Yago will have won the entire session. And Mehdi with 3 minutes in the chess, he's going back and forth between the browser. So he does decide to go knight takes a3 check, it seems, and b takes a3, and queen c3, trying to keep something going here. It's really not a bad try at all, but of course it should be losing. For example, here, can white just play the move knight b2? Protecting this rook. This is now protected, so after c5, you can do anything here. Some move like knight c2 perhaps, knight b5 also works, and if rook takes d1, queen takes d1, it's just a whole piece. So Yago's going to find knight b2. It's a fairly simple move to find at this level, and probably just going to win the chess. I don't see a move here actually for Mehdi after knight b2. White is just nicely overprotecting himself, ready to consolidate. He's got one pawn, and knight b2 has been played, and that position is just going to be losing for Mehdi. But some really interesting games in the chess. So we'll see what happens. Queen takes e3 played, so he's trying to get some pawns at least. But now there are all kinds of ideas. For example, queen g4 check, king b8, knight takes c6 check is an idea. And if king c7, we can start creeping in. We can go queen f4 check, followed by queen takes f7. If king c8, many ideas, but this must be just crushing for white as well. So many ideas to win. Queen g4 check has been played by Yago. In the poker, Mehdi with that slight chip advantage, done incredibly well, hasn't he? Just to get back in the poker, because he was down to 9 or 8 big blinds at some point. So bet and a raise, and he's going to fold this hand actually, I believe. It was a big raise there by Yago, very nice raise. And as I say, in the chess, things are not going to work out. Yago just a little bit too good, and very talented chess player, as you can see. 96 tried by Mehdi, I believe. So the question is, what happens if we just take? Because if you take, if you give this check, knight b2, there are no more checks. He does just take on the board. Knight takes d1. And if you now go queen d3 check, he goes to b3, which makes Yago's life, I think, a little bit easier. So he's going to go knight b2, and f takes e6, I assume. But this is a technically winning position. It's just a case of how Yago decides he wants to win it. Probably f4 here. Looks like a sensible move. Try and create a passed pawn very quickly and tie black up. The knight does a great job of defending the white king. You're never going to get a perpetual check here either, so nothing to be concerned about. In the poker, Mehdi revered 2 pairs, so that was clearly good enough as well. (8-4) in the poker. Well, I mean, this is one of those boards where Mehdi, of course, is happy to put all the money in. He's going to bet, and he's going to, I guess, hope to get raised here by Yago. Yago seems to have liked to have raised these kind of boards. He just calls. Now, this is a very interesting turn card, the 5, because obviously it's a 4-liner to a straight. A 6 makes a straight now. I wonder if Mehdi just thinks his hand is too strong still to not bet. But what is Yago calling with on the flop? And this is an interesting card as well. I mean, this run out has been very unfortunate for Mehdi. Now he's playing 8s and 5s. The 4 kicker is actually counterfeited. So if Yago had 10-8, for example, 10-8 now beats 8-4. F4 was indeed play. And he gets the full enchilada, the 320. And this is a really tough spot for Mehdi on this river. How many 6s does he have? And he makes the fold, very disciplined fold. Just thinks that Yago is not bluffing that spot very often. Now gets a monster hand with the ace-queen suited. Has to raise this up. I guess he's going to make it 240. There or thereabouts. Exactly 240. And gets called. Not hitting a flop here either. Meanwhile, Yago has pushed the f-pawn. Mehdi trying his best to run this guy down the board, but it's way too slow. A4. You can even go f takes e6 here, I think. A4, f takes e6, a3, e7 check. You can't go here. You have to go here. And now can you just go queen g7 with the ideas that you want to promote and you protect? And if queen takes b2, you can just take and you make a queen. But no, Yago plays a much better move here. Queen g8 check. Of course, this is a much better move. Queen g8 check, king d7, but clever move here by Mehdi. The point is, if you now go queen takes e6, he's happy to take, and this is going to be a draw because you're going to win this pawn probably. Yeah, that feels like a draw. So can Yago find something else here? Still, Mehdi kicking fighting. Very resourceful player, Mehdi. Very, very resourceful. Very resourceful indeed. King d7. And we have an all-in in the poker, and Mehdi does win the poker. Now, with Mehdi winning the poker, he now needs to win the chess. The problem is, if Yago wants, he can force a draw, and a draw is good enough to win the match. So, for example, the move queen takes e6 is an immediate draw. Takes, and knight takes a4. Decides he wants to play for a win, though, Yago. Doing it for the fans, perhaps. Queen g7 check, keeping it interesting. Actually, this is also just easily winning. King d6, now he can go f6, a3, f7. Yeah, so now he can go f6, a3, f7, I believe. a2 check, king a1. There's no more checks. And if queen takes b2, thankfully our queen protects, and we queen on the next move. So can you just go f6? What's the problem with that move? That move looks like crushing to me. Queen d4 check is also crushing, I should point out. A more, less glamorous way of playing. King e7 and queen takes a4, I think. And he does do that. I mean, this is the safe way. I say it's winning, but after king e7, queen a4, again, is this winning? I'm not completely sure. Takes, king, takes. King f6 looks like a dead draw to me. So queen d4, king e7. But maybe he just wants to go... I mean... Interestingly, f6 check, king here, e5, a3, queen d7 check, king g6, queen g7 check, king f5 is not mate, and we've blocked ourselves. Very curious position here. I wonder if this is, in fact... I mean, I guess it's winning somehow. But so king e7, and now Yago with 18 seconds. And he decides to give the check, and maybe he's just going to go for the perpetual check here, which is, you know, completely reasonable. Although the position might be winning, right? So queen g7 check. Waiting on Mehdi. I don't think he's got really many options here because white can just check forever if he really wants. And there's nothing that black can really do about it. So the position is just a draw at the absolute worst here for white, which is, as we know, sufficient for Yago to win the match. So let's see what Mehdi does. He's concentrating hard here, trying to find a way. But yeah, so he does decide to go king a. But now we can go f6. The point is now we're threatening queen e7 mate. So he does go f6, and that really is the end. e5, but queen e7 is mate. And unfortunately, Mehdi loses the chess. And that means that Yago does win the event tonight. Congratulations to Yago. We're going to see if there's an interview now with the players. Very, very close match. Very, very, very well played by both players, I felt. The poker was extremely close as well. Mehdi just with the upper hand, but Yago played some inspired poker. And in the chess, Yago was just a little too good for Mehdi. You know, you saw the class was just too much there. Yago, of course, a grandmaster. Mehdi, very, very creative player. I wouldn't like to play him, but, you know, very, very nice game. Okay. Hi, guys.
Hi again.
How are you?
Fine.
Congratulations, Yago, for winning the event. But it was very close. No, it was a very difficult match.
Yes. The first game is. Thank you.
Yeah, the first game. Tell us. The first game was hard, or
the first game I lost a pawn in one moment, right? But in the Zenoid I won the game, and in the pocket, yeah, I hit a second pair, right?
With king six.
Yes,
king six. Yeah. This was a very interesting moment, Mehdi, because I was looking at that hand and you went in. It was, I think, the longest think you had basically in the match. And you just decided you're too high in your range. Ace Jack was just too good there. He still had a lot of available bluffs. What was your thought process in that hand?
I was hoping that he has Queen 10 or Jack 10.
Right. Okay. So he still had a few Queen 10 with a diamond or something.
Yeah, I don't see him on diamonds, and well, yeah, that's part of the game, huh?
Yeah, that is part of the game. So it was actually quite a.
Well, there is no doubt that he's better than me in chess, of course, but but I should have won the first game.
Yes, you should.
I don't know what happened with the server, and I had much more time, and they give me 1 point, and suddenly they remove it.
Unfortunately, we've had a few server issues, as you could see tonight.
There is no worries. I enjoyed the moment with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mehdi. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Well done, Yago. And Yago, Also, very, typical Brazilian poker player, extremely aggressive, free betting a lot. We didn't see Yago's cards, so it'd be very interesting to see Yago's cards. But Mehdi,
I play more aggressive in poker than in chess.
Yes,
I guess.
you play more aggressive in poker than in chess. I can believe that. But it was extremely fun. Look, thank you so much, guys, for your time and for your entertainment tonight. It was really good. And let's hope there are many more events like this.
Thank you, Lawrence.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. That's it for us. Good night. That's it for us.
Okay. Goodbye. Bye-bye, Yago. Ciao.
Bye.
And we'll see you tomorrow. Same time. We've got 2 poker pros playing tomorrow, and they're going to be trying their hand at chess. I'll be here again with the commentary, hopefully with some less technical issues. But for now, from me, it's goodbye. Thanks so much for hanging out. Remember to make yourselves a premium member over at Chess24. Remember to sign up with Party Poker. Please gamble responsibly. Only play within your limits. That's all for me. Cheerio. Ciao.